Hello, everybody. My name is meteorologist Hutch Johnson. We're going to talk a little bit about this wild weather striking the nation. It's extremely wet along the west coast as flooding concerns hit from Southern California to Northern California. In the mountains and elevated terrain, we have snow taking place, and there's more on the way. All of that coming up right now. We're going to get started with a look at our radar. Now, the national view is showing that overall, over the last couple of hours, really, we're starting to continue to see that stream of very heavy rain from Los Angeles, Oceanside, California, on toward Victorville and the Riverside area. Now, as we take a look here in Mission Viejo, showing that we do have some flooding taking place in these areas. So we definitely are having problems along the coastal areas of California and in the elevated terrain. As we get up a little bit higher towards Victorville here, we're starting to see that there's actually closing of area roads as well. So California is seeing a couple of bands of heavy precipitation in the form of rain. And then here, as we go into the northern portions near Sacramento in the state capital, we still have reports of off-ramp, on-ramp issues there on I-80. In the northern part of California as well. So a lot of rain has already happened. We do have some light snow showing up on the radar. Love having you all on board, and thanks again. Again, my name is Hutch Johnson, and real quickly, thank you for checking this out. Let me know if there's a question that you have about the weather. One of the things with Hutch's weather, I'll try to address some of those concerns that you have. Buddy, good to have you on. From the Fargo area up in North Dakota. Big time changes are in the offing. We have wintry weather that's going to be heading in. Let me show you a couple of details with regards to that weather pattern that we're going to see. I'm loading up a model right now, and I got to tell you that as we go through the upcoming 48 hours and even a couple of weeks, we're going to see a return of wintry weather for much of the nation. So as this is loading up, we'll get you over to it right now. Here is a look at the National Forecast model. This is an American model, and we'll take a quick peek at this while I zoom out and get the view set here. Your time is located here on the model so that you could see that. Now, as we set things into motion, I'll go ahead and turn off these storm reports for us here so we have a better chance at seeing what's going on here. Let me go ahead and just turn those off. All right, now the forecast looks like this. Where you see the blue colors, that's snow. Where you see the green, that's heavy rain. Setting this into motion as we head into the next 24 hours or so, we're going to see that band of rain that's over Los Angeles really start producing some bands of heavy snow in southern parts of Nevada, north of Las Vegas. So up there, we are going to begin starting to see the impacts of some very, very heavy snow. Now, as we continue the motion of this, we see off the Atlantic coast, there's quiet weather. Most of the eastern 2/3 of the nation, for the most part, quiet in the early forecast period as we take you in to the 7th here. So basically, as we get into the morning hours of the 7th on Wednesday, the mountain snow will continue. And it is this mountain system that turns into a Colorado low that will bring winter back to the nation's northern plains, where we've had near record highs hitting up the last few days. Here we go with that system blasting through the Dakotas as we work our way through the late week and into the weekend. So here it is, working its way through. There will be a chance for some scattered showers of very heavy rain from Minnesota and Iowa through parts of Wisconsin as well with this system. And rain will limit the snow impacts to some areas as well. So keep that in mind. All in all, the weather is going to make a turn, and winter will return to the northern plains, where we have had a few weeks now of 30s, 40s, and 50s, and a lot of fog. Now, still quiet on the East Coast, but look at what happens as we get into the 8th and 9th. Now, we're talking about another wave making its way in off the Pacific, and that system is going to continue to bring a shot of snow. Look at this one, developing in the southern part of the Rockies, Colorado, another Colorado low, if you will, but this one taking a much farther southerly track. So as these storm systems work its way through, it's this one that goes in towards the 10th to 13th of the month across the nation's southern half that could bring another round of very heavy rain and possibly a few strong storms as well to the deep south. And look what's spiraling off the Pacific coast once again. Yep, it's that storm track that continues to deliver punches and waves of precipitation. Let's take a look at some of the warnings and watches across the nation as we do head into the middle of our week. We got some serious snowfall potential, and I want to show you some of the language that you're seeing from local National Weather Service offices. This is not hype. This is forecasts that are being put out in local areas. Let's start in the southwestern United States, from the Rockies of Colorado through the mountains of California. And as we look here outside of Fresno and outside, let's go starting out with the northern part of the state here by Truckee as you're coming in on I-80. Winter storm warnings on that Truckee and that pass area there. It's going to show here that they're expecting winds over 40 miles per hour as we go through the day. And this warning lasts until 4 a.m. on Tuesday. So as far as the windy and wintry conditions there, things are wrapping up. And we're expecting 6 to 18 inches of snowfall in these areas. Taking you down a little farther south to the Bishop area. And let's go in here on the Sequoia National Park area and see what the warning says for that area. The Sierra Nevada, above 5,000 feet. The warning continues until the morning, where 3 to 5 feet of snow was expected in these areas. Now, when this moves in the next 24 hours off into the Nevada high plains, we're expecting to see some significant snow potential there. How about 9 to 18 inches above 7,500 feet and upwards of 8 inches locally elsewhere below that range? This is in effect again until 4 in the afternoon on Tuesday, so travel could be impacted there. Now, as we get into Flagstaff and parts of northern Arizona, there are winter storm warnings there already. I want you to see the winds gusting to 50 miles per hour will be a possibility, and this is really going to impact travel in that area. We're expecting, look at the when on this, from 2 p.m. Tuesday all the way until Wednesday night. So we're talking into the middle of our work week. Warnings already issued for areas of heavy snow and wind. How much? Check this out. Donny Park up there 4 to 6 inches. Flagstaff 9 to 15 inches of snow. Munns Park 12 to 18 inches of snow expected in these areas. And the Kachina Village area, 10 to 16 inches of snow expected there. So the mountains of Arizona expected to pick up heavy snow. And these warnings are already issued very early to give folks plenty of ample notice. Now, in the mountains of western Colorado, particularly the southwestern part near Telluride, we're expecting some significant snow. This is basically Tuesday night all the way through Thursday. There's already warnings. Winds over 55 miles per hour and 1 foot of snow possible in the mountains there. That's what things are looking like there. And a look at the rain in Houston. Let's take a look at some rainfall reports, because the last 24 hours in parts of coastal California has brought flash flooding, road closures, and the like. And we'll show you a few storm reports from the area from across the nation right now. These reports indicate that we had heavy rain reports, and you can really see the tabulated data on the right-hand side. There's wind reports near Cape. Well, let's see, the Kennedy Space Center reporting 40-mile-per-hour gusts, as well as that Titusville Airport in Florida. So some very gusty winds and thunderstorm wind gusts taking place in California, in Florida over the last 24 hours. This happening in the morning hours. Now, when we take you in just a little bit closer out to the west, where you see the wintry weather dots here, we can get to some snow reports there, but anywhere from 3 to 8 inches of snow in the mountains of western Idaho. Here's a look at where the real winter weather has happened, and also the flooding concerns, all shown in green here. So as we go down towards the Long Beach area, Oxnard, and Southern California, we're talking about rocks and muds sliding across the Sadie Peak Road area. We have a lot of areas that have been inundated with some very significant rain off coastal California. And you can also see this rain came with ridiculous gusts. How about this? A wind gust here, crest line, 92 miles per hour, 5 miles northwest of that crestline area. So very gusty winds accompanying all of the flooding rains that were taking place off of California as well. So that is what we have going on there. We'll take a look at some of the snowfall reports that we've gotten in so far from the mountains of California, and that's the snow that we are expecting now to be heading its way into parts of the Rocky Mountain West for Colorado and the like. So let's get down and see a few of these areas up here by Lake Tahoe. Big winners up there. Upwards of 27 inches at the North Star Ski area. That's 27 inches of snow right there on the northern part of Lake Tahoe. 26 inches at the Mount Rose ski area, as well as Truckee on I-80. We talked about that area. 21 inches of flaky material there flying from the skies. How about over 30 inches though here in Mammoth Mountain ski area? Wow, that's nearly 3 feet, folks, of snow there in the mountains of central and eastern California. The June Mountain Ski Base there, 31 inches. That's at the base of the mountain. So some enhanced snowfall totals from that upslope machine that gets going out to the west. Heather, thanks for joining. And thank you for the happy National Weather Person's Day. I sure appreciate you. I appreciate all of your comments, and I appreciate you you're liking the videos here. I'll take 1 minute here now while we wind down on this aspect of this this update to let you know that our unsettled weather that is heading toward the nation's midsection, we're going to go over an hour-by-hour forecast of that and show you just a little bit more in detail, and a quick look at the European model as well. But I do want to thank you for watching. And again, Hutch's weather a little bit different here, where you get that opportunity to give me some feedback. So I love seeing your comments. I love the likes. And if you are so inclined, go ahead and follow and subscribe to the channel here. And hit the little bell up there so you can be sent a notification by my friends at YouTube when we're going live. Now, I do want to point out that our weather here over the next couple of days, as we get right back to that European model here for the United States, will be a very wild one out west. So let's go ahead and get right to this model, and I want to carry this through. The time stamp is up at the top center for you, so you could get a peek of that. Now let me go back and rewind this. Okay, Rod, thank you for the best wishes on National Weather Person's Day here. Throwing another shout out to all of my fellow weather folks out there. As a meteorologist for 30 years, I got to tell you, it's just kind of fun to have your own day. So thank you so very much for making my day special. Now, the heavy rain is expected to continue in Southern California in particular, and the snow spreads by the time we get to Tuesday morning into central parts of Nevada here on the European model. So you could see this area that I'm circling by the L, the low stamped on the California-Nevada line. That's where the active weather will happen. This system quickly scoots into the Central Rockies, and a Colorado low develops there. This is when we'll have the mountain snows near Telluride in Colorado. Those extend north into the mountains of Montana, the Big Sky country, and also in Idaho, where the potatoes will get a dash of some snowflakes. Now, as we head out into the Central Plains, notice the track of that low straight up into Nebraska and the Dakotas. That's going to bring the best chance of some snowy weather by the time we get to midweek. This is Wednesday evening. So up there in northern Montana along that, I think that's a Highway 2 corridor up there. We're talking Glasgow, Montana, and the northern Rockies, not far from you folks up in Glacier National. We're going to see a chance for some wind and snow there. Rain in the plains will continue there. All right, I want to say hi to some folks here. Oh, wow, Hutch, thanks from Arizona for watching. Love seeing you. Joanne, good to have you on. Rod, thanks so much. Now let's skip back to the weather here. Oh, my goodness. The European model explodes this storm system over the Dakotas, and it slows down a little bit. There could be wind, bands of heavy snow on the left side or west side of the Dakotas. And you go up to the eastern side of the Dakotas into Minnesota, rain, and heavy rain at that at times, and in places closer to the center of circulation will be possible. This is a ways out, and the exact track of this storm is going to change, and the impacts will be changing along with that, because we're talking about a system that's going to be very dynamic and could bring areas of some mixed precipitation, some heavy sleet potential with the system as it's working its way through. The timestamp here, Thursday morning. So we have snow across the western part of the Dakotas Thursday morning, and look at this thing sit here and spin, folks. This is a good amount of time, almost a 24-hour period. It stays in eastern North Dakota. That means the western and central Dakotas having wind and snow that could be very potent. Could it be a blizzard? I can't say that it won't, but it's way too early to put definitions on that kind of stuff yet. As a meteorologist, we reserve the term blizzard for when we're more certain this is going to happen, and not all models are agreeing on this system parking here for this length of time. But if this happens, if this scenario does pan out, it could bring very difficult travel conditions to the central and western Dakotas. Now, as we carry this through and work our way into that Friday time frame, this storm system will continue to trek off to the east and bring its snow chances to Minnesota, but it fairly quickly vacates the region at this point, meaning the impacts of snowfall should be lower over Minnesota as opposed to North Dakota. Aaron, are we going to get a high wind warning for west central Ohio on Sunday? That's a good question. Sunday's a long ways away and a lot can change. So if you're in that area of Ohio, here's Sunday coming up on this European model. Hutch likes, as a meteorologist, this European model. It's been more consistent on the longer range forecast than its counterpart, the American model. But as far as wind warnings go, that's a long ways out, to be perfectly honest with you, Aaron, with regard to that. And as I look at the forecast for this on Sunday, West Central Ohio. Here you are, West Central Ohio. I've got my my fancy cursor right there by it. We got isobars that are pretty far apart. I don't see any concerns here in the morning on Sunday, but look at this strong low pressure, that Colorado low we talked about on the American model, skirting across the lower United States. This one, potentially, I mentioned before on the American model, could bring strong thunderstorms to the southern plains. Still looks legit on this model. And there could be snow in the elevated terrain of western parts of Kansas, Colorado, North Texas, and the panhandle of Oklahoma. Look at this storm system spreading its way through. Could there be windy concerns? This is late Sunday right here, Sunday night. So Sunday into Monday for you, Aaron, that's your answer. It looks like it. Mike, thanks for the guitar. Some of you may know Hutch Johnson loves to play some heavy metal guitar from time to time, and it's appreciative of you for joining me right here. Love to have your likes, your comments, and your follows as well. Let's carry this through now. Now you're looking at Monday, and look at this storm system going from the southern plains where there could be strong thunderstorms, locally heavy rain once again. After a nice little break from the very heavy rain showers in the Gulf Coast states, this system will bring a return to that weather. Teresa, you're welcome for the updates. Thanks for your comments here. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me on this version of Hutch's weather. Now, as this system works its way to the north and east, it looks like it does head towards Ohio and the Great Lakes, making a beeline. Could this be a Chicago system? You betcha. The Windy City could get mighty windy with air moving, not political things, but we're talking actual air molecules flying through the atmosphere at pretty good speeds. So we're talking, as we looked at this more in depth, Aaron, that the best chance of very windy conditions in Ohio is going to come with this storm system on the European model as we go from Sunday night and into Monday. And will it be a wind warning? Will it be wintry weather? Will it be rain or flooding concerns? It's too early to tell exactly the line of this path. I'm going back and forth over this path, and you see the low moving from Arkansas up into the Ohio River Valley as it does so. Any deviation from this forecast path would make the rain-snow line shift as well. And that's why, as a meteorologist, I like to give you that insight as to what we look at when it comes to weather across this great nation. So in the next 24 hours, you can count on some changes. The changes are going to be winter returning to the northern plains, wind and snow as we go from Wednesday through Saturday in places like the Dakotas, Montana, and Minnesota even. Now, as we go through the next few days between now and, say, Wednesday, the Rocky Mountain West and the Santa Anas of California, and that flooding rain potential will continue for the next 24 hours there, and that snow will slide up into the mountains of Nevada and Colorado, where we have winter storm warnings already placed, and those systems will linger there for quite some time. That storm will have impacts in the mountains of Montana, the mountains of Wyoming, and the mountains of the Utah and Idaho areas as well. So pay attention to your local National Weather Service offices with regard to that. A little bit farther out, we have another Colorado low that will skirt along the southern tier of states as we head and glide toward around the 10th to the 14th of the month. And that's the one that Aaron was talking about. Love NASA high storm winds and power outages. I got to tell you, high storm winds are something that could happen. Power outages are something that they are concerned about in places like California with this storm that's produced 90-mile-per-hour winds, mudslides, closing roads. This has just been a terrible, terrible couple of days of weather for our friends in coastal California, and in the mountains of California, they're picking up some big-time snow. You can bet, though, that the snow in the mountains of places like Arizona, Colorado, and Nevada, play a huge role in helping replenish some moisture in these rain-parched areas. That's a look at Hutch's weather. I want to invite you to check out my YouTube page here and subscribe right here on YouTube, but I also have a page that you could check out mainly for my local viewers in the Northern Plains, where I have spent the last 26 years as a broadcast meteorologist. Here's a little bit of information on that. You can scan these QR codes, check out the pages, come by, follow my page there. I'd love to have you on board and have your comments and questions brought to me there. Here we go. We'll put this up for you so you can get a look now as I leave you on this Monday evening, and I'll take my picture off and I got to duck out of the way. Ready? 3, 2, 1. That was cool. All right, yeah. I'll leave this up for just a moment as I let you get back to your Monday night business. Wild weather in the western United States now will spread into the Rocky Mountain West, the Northern Plains, midweek to late week. And then as we head into the forecast for the weekend and beyond next weekend, we're expecting some wild weather in the Southern Rockies, the Southern Gulf Coast states, and up into the Great Lakes region. It's been a pleasure visiting with you. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Check out my videos right here.